she's like, put this magnesium on there. It's going to make it all better. And I'm like, no, this shit just burns. I couldn't even buy it. Like, nobody would give me a loan. I didn't have a real job. It might be up 200 grand and down to zero the next month. I screenshot what I want, send it to you, and be like, I need one of these. And then y'all order it. You got such a crush on her.
I do. Man, she's where it's at.
All right, it is tax season. It's coming on. Month and a half. Got to have that shit turned in. So we're going to go over a few things that we have learned about taxes and how to keep stuff separate, how to get loans easier with your either your full business or your side business.
Mm-hmm.
So, but first, I apologize if my throat messes up a little bit.
I knew this was coming.
Hell yeah,
I thought you were about to apologize to me for your attitude earlier, but
you can apologize later for that.
We're starting
statement.
this podcast like an hour late because Tim acted like a 5-year-old this morning.
No, she tried to get me to drink pepper. Cayenne pepper. She wanted me to take a shot of cayenne pepper.
And it's because it's so good for you.
Yeah, I felt like I got stung in the throat by a bumblebee, and it hurt.
I'm not kidding when I say it was like trying to get a kid to take.
I really should have recorded how sad it was.
I wanted to record it. I wanted to record it.
You were pushing so hard to get me to drink that. She put first she said, take it like a shot, take it fast, and she put a half a cup of water.
No, it was like that much.
That's too much for a shot.
It was like this much water.
I took plenty of shots. That was too much.
No, it wasn't.
For one just.
Well, I put a little
swish.
I put a little extra water because I was thinking if I don't put a little bit more water, then he's gonna be like, "Well, it's too thick with cayenne pepper. There's not enough water in there, and it's gonna be burning my throat." I was trying to give it to where I had enough lubricant to get down. But
look, it felt like somebody punched me in the throat.
Oh, it was not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
You're so dramatic.
It's a teaspoon of cayenne pepper.
No. It wasn't a teaspoon. It was like a quarter of a teaspoon.
Something. It was a lot.
It was literally a quarter of a teaspoon.
Well, she mixed up water and made me drink it. I didn't appreciate it.
He was in the kitchen sweating.
Yeah.
He was like shaking, nervous, and he was like,
because I took it.
I don't want to do
this.
No, before, but he was even.
That's because you had the heater on at 69 degrees in the house. It's hot as hell.
This is the truth. He was even said he was sweating so much. He said, I got to take my pants off.
Yeah, I did. I had to strip my pants off because it was too hot. That's why I looked over and seen you had the heater on.
Because he had mentally.
And I was standing right under the vent.
You had mentally worked yourself up.
You turn the heater on, and you try to get me to drink pepper.
Whatever. You weren't sweating.
Anyway, Hannah's on this kick. She's on this naturalist, herbalist. She's got this.
I've gone down.
She's got this visionary that she follows called Barbara.
Love her. She's a hero. She's
wrecking my life.
I
got toothpaste that I can't pronounce. I went in the refrigerator this morning. There was all these weird things in the refrigerator that I've never seen before. I'm not sure what half of them are.
Well, the thing for me, though, is that I've always loved the body. I think it's interesting. And the more that I've learned about it, like, it genuinely blows my mind, the things that your body can do if you give it the right stuff. I don't know. It's just amazing to me. So when I found this lady, which I'm sure people have seen her.
They might not have.
Well, she's terrific. And
you got such a crush on her.
I do. Man, she's where it's at. But the more that I've learned from her and, like, the way she breaks it down to where I'm just like, God, that makes so much sense. And I don't know. Like, I think doctors for sure have their place. But I think we give them too much of a place because your body is designed to heal itself.
Well, doctors are only taught.
I know what they know. I'm not saying it's their fault.
They're only taught what they learn in school, and school is funded by people who want to make money.
I'm definitely not blaming. Like, I'm not saying they're at fault in any way, shape, or form. Not people that
grow cayenne pepper.
But most people just don't know what their body can do.
So coming later this year, we're going to have Hannah's snake oil and elixir store.
Snake oil.
We're going to have all kinds of things you can buy that will...
I am going to start making videos because I just haven't because I don't really know why. But if someone doesn't really care that much about the body like I do or, like, want to go down that deep, I think I want to make videos just for, like, the person that may be like, oh, I'm just curious about this. What if I do this? Because I'll just say, if you're on anything like an aspirin for, like, a blood thinner, you can just come off that and do cayenne pepper. It's a great blood thinner. It's great for your heart, your blood.
Yeah,
Just
you don't want to taste anything because your
if you have
lips are
thick
numb all
blood.
morning.
Yeah, if you have thick blood, it's great. And the stinging goes away. Also, it gives you some energy.
I don't know
It
about
has.
that.
There's
I'm
a
chronically tired, so I don't know if that really
that
works.
that's because of things. That's not a condition.
It's
That's
conditioned to
an
me.
effect from things that have happened. I'm down a rabbit hole.
We know.
So anyway, I'm gonna start making some of those.
Yeah. So new online store coming this year.
I don't know about a store, but videos nonetheless.
Don't get her started on down. What's your oil that you like?
Oh, castor oil.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that stuff's.
that's gonna save the world right there.
It will. It can.
Should we have me drinking baking soda next?
Drinking baking soda?
Supposedly that's really good for you. It's only called baking soda after it was used for other things.
You can though get activated charcoal. Like if you have ingested anything poisonous, you can mix it with a stuff called psyllium. It makes it like a gel. You can use that for like a bee sting or what it puts it on there because
Or
charcoal can absorb.
just break that
It's like-
cigarette in half, put that tobacco on there.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
because
if
you want
that
the chemicals
works.
of tobacco in your body, so that's
Maybe.
good. No, you don't. Anyway, charcoal is great for external and internal. I got a whole list of things I could talk forever about this, so you might as well get on to taxes. Which is one of the times of the year that, man, I dread the most. It's gotten better since.
Well, that's a lot
we've
of work now.
changed.
We wasn't organized either.
Yeah, it was tough.
We've just learned a lot of tricks to get done faster and not wait till the end of the year to jump on it. That
Mhm.
helps.
Yeah.
Doing it monthly is a big deal. So taxes. So the first thing that everybody usually does is they start a side business
Mhm.
and they're working a regular job. So I used to work for the power company, and we was in a pretty high tax bracket, so I paid a pretty good bit of taxes. Well, I was going to pay them regardless. I mean, I was working that job. So if I'm going to have a side hustle, if you will take in, if you'll take that side hustle and go ahead and do an itemized tax return, like you have to get somebody to do it. It's not really that expensive because you're not going to have that many things on there. But if your business has a loss, and as a loss, I mean write-offs, like you have, let's just say mowing grass because that's pretty simple. Let's say this year I went and bought a lawnmower, a truck, a weed eater, all that leaf blower, whatever I need. I get to write all that off of my taxes. Now, you don't get to write off in 1 year. There's a couple different rules, which is why you don't need to do it yourself.
Mhm.
They might have to take the truck, might be 5 years. A building be 7 years, I think, something like that. But you'll take that percentage. So if you made $5,000 this year mowing grass, but you spent 20,000 or 30,000 initially to get started from money you already had, well, you get to write that off, so you have a loss because you're depreciating your assets, and that loss, the company's not gonna, the government's not gonna pay you because you lost money,
Mhm.
but you made money at your job, so you get to take that loss and that profit and put those together.
Mhm.
So if you paid 10,000 in taxes and your business depreciated $3,000, you get to take that 3,000 off that 10.
Yeah.
So you're just making money back.
Yeah.
Even us now, unless you're a C corp, which really no one is that you probably even know, it takes a massive company to turn into a whole C corp. It's a lot of paperwork. It's having a board of directors and having monthly meetings. I mean, it's a lot of stuff involved in a C corp. So most people are not. If you're a LLC, limited liability, if you're a partnership, if you're a sole proprietor,
Proprietor.
my lisp is
Proprietor.
is showing up.
Well, I was more like a lisp and a southern twang.
You got one of them sole proprietors. Uh, all those are basically run through taxes as an S corp,
Mm.
and we have 3 or 4 LLCs, and then our personal taxes, and everything gets separately handled, and then it's all combined into my personal name or ours together, and that's what we pay.
Yeah.
Whatever that equals and balances out. That's why people make fun of like Donald Trump, like he lost $30 billion on some casino. Okay, he did, but he didn't lose because he profited everywhere else. So that's a tax write off because it's a loss. Um, somebody, somebody stole our truck last week. We can write that truck off as a loss in the company because we lost the truck to the woods and got set on fire for no reason.
Dude, honestly, it was like Tim had left for the day, and I was in the office, and one of the guys come in there, and he was like, "Hey, have you somebody have the flatbed truck?" And I didn't know if Tim had let somebody borrow it, so I called his dad because I just thought maybe his dad needed it. So, and he was like, "No, I don't have it." Anyway, called Tim. Tim did not know that it was supposed. It was not supposed to be gone. So yeah, we tried to watch the cameras. They literally stole it 20 minutes before one of our employees got here.
For the morning, yeah, start in the morning.
Because we start at 6 a.m. So 5:40.
He got here like 5:30. They come in like 5:15 and stole it.
And how it got stolen was a key was left in it, and they got it so easily because a few months ago, someone stole a truck, not our truck, stole someone's truck, rammed into our fence, like backed up, rammed in, broke the fence down.
Cost me $2 or $3 grand. Messed up my $2,000 or $3,000 gate to steal some used tires,
some old tires. And what was crazy is that one of our friends, because I guess either Tim posted it on Facebook or you sent it to him, I don't know. He saw that truck drive right past his office, and so he went to chase them down or go follow them, whatever. But
yeah, and then the crackhead that owned the truck to start with, he told the cops all the stuff in the back of the truck was his.
Well, but so he got the truck. He pulled the truck over, but the people that stole the truck and then stole our tires, they had already been like put back in jail, and the car was an impound, basically. Not impound, but they, where they keep it.
Yeah, the real owner got the truck.
So then he got the truck.
But he told the cops that it was his stuff.
Yeah.
The wheels and tires and some of my like hand tools out of my flatbed boxes and stuff like that. Yeah. He said it was his.
It's a crazy turn of events. But anyway, so that's how they could just pull the truck out because there's no fence. There's no fence that's been put back up.
Yeah. So so that flatbed, if it's not depreciated all the way out, which it may be, may not. If it's not depreciated all the way out, we can take the rest of it because it's gone. Mm-hmm. But if we depreciated it out, then you can't count that on your taxes again. But we'll just check and let them know that it's gone.
Yeah.
We got no money for it, so we can get that money back. So just a lot of these guys mowing grass, they have a regular job. They could get some of their taxes back if they've lost money on that business. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can write off. So there's a lot of rules. Like if you have, like me and you, if we had 3 vehicles, and let's say I had something I drove to work and you drove to work, and then we had a truck, we could add that truck to the company. Mm-hmm. If it's used just for hauling that trailer. And you can bring that truck in that you've already paid for or paying on and take the value of what it is, bring it into the company and start writing it off. So even if you owned a truck, you can start writing that truck off if you bring it into your LLC. That's why it's important to go ahead and do that stuff. If you already have a trailer, if you already have a lawnmower, you can bring all that in and start writing off immediately. So you're making money, but you're losing money company-wise because it's having to absorb that, and it can do it as a write-off.
Yeah, and there's a couple of, like, even one of our employees, he cuts grass on the side, and he wasn't doing anything. Like, I don't think he was he wasn't doing anything business-wise. Bell, was
Yeah, most people don't. I mean, most people just don't, they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, they can claim that they made the money, but that's something.
But to get the most benefit out of having a side business.
Yeah, they'll claim, well, I made $2,000 mowing grass in my business. Okay, but you didn't write nothing off.
Yeah, that's right.
And everybody's, look, pay your fair amount in taxes. We don't ever pay taxes hardly because we write the stuff off that we buy. We just go by the rules. Mm-hmm. We go by their rules that they made up, and we pay hardly no taxes.
Now, apart from having to pay taxes 3 times on the same thing.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about
end of the year taxes, I know.
Yeah, we don't hardly ever pay. Yeah. We barely pay anything because we spend. I mean, we're just reinvesting almost all our profit back into the business.
But now we have a business that we have a lot of things we can keep to buying to depreciate.
Yeah,
Some
we just keep
businesses,
buying new stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, some it's
some
hard.
businesses is a lot harder to have.
If you're
things
just
to
buying a
depreciate.
product and just warehousing it and reselling it or direct selling it, you get no write-offs hardly.
Yeah.
But you can write off like your phone.
Mm-hmm.
If your phone's used for business, or if it's not, you write off half your phone bill.
Yep.
You can write off, if you have a home office, you can write off half your water bill, half your power
Mm-hmm.
bill, whatever. And it changes. It's all specific, but generally,
Yeah.
if you have an office at home, you're doing online sales, you can write some of your bills off.
Yeah.
You can write some of your phone off.
Your clothes.
You can write your internet off. You have to have internet to run your internet business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you
If you need to
are
look a
an
certain
influence,
way,
well, the influencer thing now that it's a
Dude,
business,
like you can write anything off.
yeah,
Anything
I
you've
could
used in your
buy a
videos.
Ferrari and write it off
Yeah.
because it's for the image for my
Yeah,
influencer.
for like advertising and bringing in.
Yeah, so you do tutorial videos on TikTok. You can write your clothes off if you buy them to
Mm-hmm.
have outfits.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Makeup.
I mean, you can write clothes off for mowing grass.
Yeah.
Like I need grass mowing clothes, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
write that off.
Shoes. Like if you, well, even in your personal time, if you don't have a business, like our employees, like if they bought boots, because boots are pretty expensive and they got to be a certain kind, they can put that in their personal taxes
Yeah.
anyway.
And you can write
But
off
anything like that.
what your accountant charges you to do your taxes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an expense,
Yeah.
but you got to get creative because a lot of these small time accountants, they don't know what you're really doing. You just got to be like, hey, what am I honestly using for my business? If I bought something that is because of my business, that is a write off if it's legit. And if you're not sure, just ask them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not going to be like, hey, did you buy this random thing that I don't even know what it is for your business? You've got to bring that to them.
Yeah.
They're not going to come and look around and be like, let me find some more stuff. But now they do come up with some things that you don't think about that you're buying that, like in the beginning, I was like, oh, I didn't really think about a few certain things. And they're like, oh, you do this? I'm like, yeah, you can write that off.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't thinking enough, like, what does it really take to run my business?
Yeah. And I mean, just to make it easier, obviously, if you're small starting out, it's not that big of a deal. But when I first kind of started getting things together, when after we got married with tax season, when it was very disorganized, not for any reason other than it was just, hadn't been fully,
It was all in my head.
which was again disorganized. But so what I would do was print off every single month bank statement and the credit card statements, and then go through every single transaction for the entire year and put it in a category, whether it was, material, supplies, fuel,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. So like the lawnmower, you can write off fuel, weed eater string, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of write off. You got to separate like equipment purchases,
Yes.
like a weed eater or a blower.
And you need to have
That needs to be in a separate category.
Yeah.
And the more you do for this bookkeeper, the less they charge you.
right. Well, and two,
They get paid by the hour.
and two, you doing it that way really kind of puts in perspective in your brain. Okay, well, like just show them where you're spending money.
Yeah. Well, you should keep
see-
up with your profit and loss anyway.
For sure. But as you're keeping it in categories, it helps keep it broke down. But I know on our, one thing I discovered 2 years ago on our bank, which I don't know if it's every bank, I have no idea, but with ours on Exchange, I figured out you can go ahead and assign categories where you can see it as you're going through transactions. So I had our secretary, I wrote things down for like what I wanted them to be specifically. So in case she didn't know, so she goes through every single day now and puts things in categories. That way at the end of the year, I'll go back through and just review it to make sure it's how I want it. And then when I print it off on the bank, it's already just all of the amounts are in their categories.
My eyes are burning from that.
If you say
That
anything else about
jalapeno
cayenne
pepper shots,
it ain't
whatever.
jalapeno, it's cayenne pepper. So just staying
I forgot
organized.
what I was gonna say because you cut me off. and
But
my eyes
we
are burning.
also do that with our credit card, because the credit card on the bank comes out as one full amount transaction monthly. So then I still got to print out the credit card stuff and put it in the categories and add those totals up, so where those totals can be added into what it would actually be on the bank for like material, fuel, again, all the tools, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
And definitely keeping up with, like, the more organized you kind of got a profit and loss
Yeah.
keeping up with what you're really, if you're really making money, what you're making money, where you're losing money. It sucks for us because we'll do work sometimes. Like 1 month, we'll work the whole month and make $0. Like nobody will pay us, but we work the
Mm-hmm.
whole month. And then the next month, we'll get 100 grand come in,
Yeah.
but we'll spend 100 grand on inventory. So it looks like we made no money again.
Yeah.
We're just, it's such volatile purchases.
Yeah. Every man.
Like we might spend a couple 100 grand 1 month on material and then get paid a couple 100 grand 2 months later, and the middle month be doing tons of custom work that they don't pay us for 30 months after we bill them once they get
30,
it. And
30 days.
yeah, 30 days. But so it's just so our profit and loss is so wild. You can't really, it's hard to track.
Yeah. And it's crazy too because like if we bill something or do something in let's say December of a year, well we won't see that profit till the beginning of the next year, but it's not.
You can pull that back too, but we don't. But
Yeah.
if you was worried about it, if you needed to
Mm-hmm.
for tax reasons, you can pull that back if it was billed in December.
Yeah.
I know if we never had to do that, so I don't know if you knew, but you can.
Yeah.
If you needed that money for that year. So after you get past the side hustle part, if you go full time, well, even if you're still in the side hustle, this part is pretty nice. Like you got to keep it separated. Now, credit unions for the most part have cut out DBA accounts, which is doing business as. But if you have yours may do it, ours quit, so we had to swap to a bank and just got a full on business account, which is best. But if you don't want to do that, and you want to keep it separate, but you don't have enough money to run two accounts because you might get low, you can get a DBA account, which is just doing business as. So you like,
It's not a full LLC.
so Tim has an account, and then my grass mowing company has a DBA, and it can hold money, but also you could make it every time it deposit automatically go back to Tim's account. That's not good for getting the loans, but it's good for if you're just trying to keep stuff separate. So you just use that DBA account. Plus, if somebody writes you a check, if you're like, "Hi, my name is,
Yeah.
Grass Cutters, Professional Grass Cutters Company," and somebody's like, "Oh, I made this check out to Professional Grass Cutters," you can't cash it. So a DBA account will allow you to cash that.
Yeah, because we like for us we have multiple business names. So really, when someone writes a check, I'm like, well, it can be this, or this. Doesn't really matter. I try to keep it in the category of whatever business they're buying from.
Right.
But if
So we
someone just
keep up with it
pre-filled it
separately.
out, then it's not a big deal.
So that at least having that DBA account lets you see all the money that came in. It's more organized. It really doesn't help you, but except for organization, you're like, oh, I got all these checks, I got all these wire transfers or deposits from online. They all went to this account, and I can track it easy. Also, if you can get a debit card from there, if you can keep money in it, if you have enough funds to keep them two separate and keep cash in it. I say get credit cards, but most people suck at credit cards.
Yeah, as long as you can make the payment and don't over abuse your credit card.
I think, Saint Ramsey said that like 40% of the people actually pay that off that are intending to pay it off every month. But if you can do it, there's a lot of benefits. We got like $10,000 worth of appliances for our house because we use that card, and then we use that to get the appliances.
Yeah, you build up points.
So we made 10 grand off that card
Yeah.
to get our refrigerator and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you got to be really disciplined. Most people aren't. But you can take that card, and if it's a debit card or a credit card, make sure it's auto pay. Pay that thing off.
Yes, my gosh.
But it keeps up with all your purchases. Like buy everything through it. So you're buying gas, Whittier string. You're buying
Your
if you need clothes for that. Like anything that you say this is for the business for sure. Now you have one place where every purchase is, so you know exactly what you spent for taxes, for your monthly P&Ls, all that stuff. You know what you have.
Well, and with credit cards, with some certain places, you get like 2x or 3x
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah, we
Which
get a
is
lot
good,
more.
which
from
you'll never
debit
get with a
ones.
debit card.
We just have a Lowe's card because we buy a lot of stuff from Lowe's, and it's just saved us a ton of money.
Yeah.
And then the bigger you get too, you can get you a tax ID number if you have an LLC. You don't pay taxes on certain things that if you're going to resell it. if you're reselling.
Yeah.
And that here, that's 10% profit that you just lost.
Yeah, that's a lot. But on our, oh, got me the throat.
It's like a gallon of water.
I know. On our equipment, when did we learn about equipment sales? That's only 7.5%.
New equipment sales.
Yeah, I know, but
It's been a while, but
okay.
the new equipment sometimes our is 10% in Gadsden.
Mhm.
If it's new equipment, it's 7.5%.
7.5%.
I don't know why. That's just what it is.
Mhm.
So that saves our customers money. It's
Yeah.
legal. Why
But
are we
if-
going to pay what we don't have to?
Yeah, and if we ship it to another state, it's no taxes. If they come from another state to Alabama and physically pick it up from our shop, they're supposed to pay taxes because they got it directly in Alabama.
Yeah, but that's up to like 200 grand a year per,
Yeah,
per area.
amount.
There's so many rules on that, and they
Yeah.
just changed them a couple years ago. So debit cards, if you can
Yeah.
get that, keep up with it. Keep up with all your sales
Mm-hmm.
with that account. So then once you get past that, if you want a full-fledged business account, like you're getting up there, you're like, all right, I can handle my own account. The business can run it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So getting loans sucks when you're starting out. I quit my job at the power company. It just didn't make enough profit. I was spending money. I wasn't really doing my taxes correct, so it looked like I wasn't making nothing, but really I was buying equipment, And so when it came to getting the building that we have now, I couldn't even buy it. Like nobody would give me a loan. I didn't have a real job. My business wasn't showing the right numbers. And really the bank, I just kind of laughed at them because they said, if you'll spend, we need you to pay about $30,000 in taxes for 3 years, and then we'll give you a loan on the building. And I'm like, that's
Yeah, it
almost
was
what the building
crazy.
cost,
Yeah. This wasn't when we were trying
I
to
could have bought
run.
the building and wrote it off.
Yeah. What were we trying to use my credit for to help?
To buy the skid steer, and you had no credit.
Crazy. So I had great credit.
You
Like-
say that. I don't know.
Whatever.
You said you had great credit.
whatever.
But
It was like, honestly,
all I know was when they ran your credit, they said 0.
I was distraught because I had really, really good credit. And I was like, oh, well, just add me to it because it'll help with the payment and all this stuff because I have really good credit. Well, when we got married, I think I owed like $2,000 on my truck.
Yep.
Or something. We got married. He paid it off. And that was the only thing I had running in my name as far as like a payment. Well, I did not know or think that I thought my credit would just kind of stay. But if you are not constantly paying on something, your credit just goes away.
Well, she sold her truck. We paid the truck off, and then you quit your job and become a housewife. You quit
Half.
working.
Yeah. Rude.
You
Wait,
joined
what?
the no job club where you work for yourself. You was working the shop,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but I'm saying now you have
yeah.
no payments and
nothing.
no income, just
Yeah.
like me. So we put you in the same situation where we can't get nothing.
Yeah. Had I have known though, I would have just kept making payments on the truck. Anyway, but sorry. Side note. Go ahead.
So, anyways, she's talking about buying the skid steer.
Yeah.
We bought the skid steer. We had to go to Farm Credit Bureau,
Yeah. I
Alabama
remember.
Farm Credit or something, just to
Yeah.
get the loan because nobody else would even talk to us, but they would because it was like an agricultural loan.
Yeah.
So they did it no issues with them. So that is another thing if you're doing it. Try out some different places because we didn't even know that we could buy ag related products through them.
And we only know because somebody told us.
Yeah, just the guy that we got it from.
Oh,
that's where
right.
he had
Okay.
it at.
Yeah, that's right.
So
But anyway, so how we
business
were able,
loans.
how
Well,
are-
business loans.
how were you talking about how we were
business
able to get
account.
the
If
building?
business loans for your business doesn't necessarily have to reflect your personal credit. There is more private style lenders out there, and if you need a loan, let us know because we know a guy. There is some more private style lenders out there that will look at your business account only, and what they want to see is what's going in and what's coming out to see like monthly
Mm-hmm.
or cumulatively. Like us, ours it might be up 200 grand and down to 0 the next month. It's just so wild.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to see like averaged out. If you're 4 months and it's showing gaining every month, that's good. But like ours, they might want to see a year because it's so crazy. Like, what did you actually do in a year? So the quicker you can get that business account set up, and get some history of some profit showing, or if you have a dip in profit, at least be able to explain, I spent this, I bought
Mhm.
this equipment this time, so
Mhm.
that's why I was down 30 grand. They will give you a loan much faster than a bank.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say if you can find someone too that you can build a relationship with,
I mean
that
that
helps.
it's important because we picked a small town bank, and we do all the stuff with them,
Yeah.
and they know us. We can text them.
Yeah.
Like I just like we told them we want something. They're just like, oh yeah, just send me the invoice and I'll get your loan ready, and you can DocuSign it. Like we don't even go in there.
Yes. So
So
if
it's
you.
pretty nice, but it took a while to build that relationship with them. But find a bank that's a good local bank and just use them.
Mhm.
And you know, you might have to. They might not cover. You might have to go somewhere else, but try to build a relationship with them.
Yeah. I think that's been one of the things that's helped us the most.
But
Because
here,
even
this is a
even
trick that we learned about buying our shop. That's what we started at.
yes.
So couldn't afford the shop. I mean, could afford it because I was making the freaking payment.
Yeah.
Uh, we had a good deal where we just got the building for payoff. I mean, it was a handshake deal back in the day, like real men before everybody was. I mean, this guy
Unreliable.
was 70,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Look, all right, we're do it." We shook hands, and that was it. There was no paperwork. There was no text messages. I mean, really, it was. Some people was like, "You're crazy." Yeah, I wouldn't trust nobody, and I'm like, what I have to lose anyway. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't lose anything. I was using the shop.
And one, thankfully, he's, I mean, a really
Oh
good,
yeah, great
really,
guy.
really great man.
I'm really lucky to run across him,
100%.
but I couldn't afford it. Couldn't get the payment. So I was like a year or so, I made the payment, and then one day I was like, hey, I really want to get this in my name, and they won't let me.
Mm-hmm.
He was moving stuff out of his name, and because he was retiring, selling off some stuff, he's like, yeah, I need to move it out of my name, and I'm like, well, I can't buy it yet. The bank won't loan it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, you know, something we used to do back in the day that's not real popular anymore. This is the
It
accountant.
was it was
Our
it was
accountant
Frost.
said that,
Yeah, Frost told
and
us this.
he had a attorney
Yes.
on payroll at his office.
Yeah, he was like, it's 100%
And
legal. Just no one really knows about it.
yeah, no, he said nobody really does it no more. So what we did, that attorney drew up a paper for a contract. When you go get a loan at the bank, you and the bank have a contract, and you're like, if I miss these payments, bad things happen. You know, whatever
Yeah.
those rules are, and they give you the loan approved on your credit. Well, so what we did is the guy that owned the building, we used
His credit.
his credit,
Mm-hmm.
but we bought the building.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really kind of good for him too because he got that loan off of his name.
Mm-hmm.
It was on our name, but his credit.
Mm-hmm.
So if we didn't make the payments, it just went back to him. Then if he didn't make the payments, it went back to the bank.
Yeah, it didn't go directly from us to the bank if we
Right.
defaulted.
He was just a middleman. And if we paid on it for 2 years
Mhm.
and he got it back, good for
Yeah,
him.
right.
I mean, but he had to, you know, I guess it was still on his credit, but it wasn't like holding like as a loan. It wasn't in his name, showing that he owned it as an asset.
Yeah.
So, uh,
So that saved us.
yeah, so we did that for a couple years, building that relationship with the bank. And once we got done, I was like, all right, can we get this in our name? She's like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a lower interest rate, got it in our name, and then it was fully ours anyway. But then it cut him out, let him loose. But even if like he died, all the paperwork said, hey, no matter what happens, it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't take it. If we quit paying, it goes to his family. But as long as we do what we're supposed to do, just like a regular bank, nobody can do anything.
Yeah. So I would say too, in that uh, perspective, like even when you're looking for a loan, and he was saying, don't just talk to one bank. Like try to seek out multiple people. Same scenario for situations like that. Just ask around because someone that you're talking to may not know. You know, like another accountant that we talked to may not have known that, but he is such an older generation tax accountant. They
Yeah.
know things like that.
Yeah, he'd been around for a long time, and he handled a bunch of larger businesses.
Yeah. Oh, why don't you tell real quick about your write offs whenever they had to pay you money?
You sure we want to talk about that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was all legal.
No, yeah.
No,
I
the
mean, I don't
state.
know.
So
It was at the beginning. It was pretty much, I mean, close to the
this is
beginning.
before I got this shop.
No, I
But,
know.
well, just, I don't know. Alabama audited me um, because Alabama is poor and likes to audit people. Just see if they can get some more money out of them.
Now they're, do you want to have them coming after us?
Well, they are poor.
I know.
They're like, y'all got to pay. And then what they'll do is they'll audit you because they got to pay people.
Yeah, I know.
And so they try to audit. They audited me. And there's a point where your write offs just quit being effective. And it just looks ridiculous to keep writing stuff off. Like, say, if you had, this is nothing legit, this is just my analogy. Say, if the first $1,000 you write off gave you $200 off on your taxes, you know, maybe when you got to $40,000, it gave you like $10. It really wasn't worth piling all that stuff in there because it quit being effective. Like, that's why we might could write our building off in 5 years. We move it to 7 years so that it's less every year, but that is more effective money. The longer you put it off, it's more effective. So the state audits me, and they're like, "You owe us money for I can't even remember
Bitch.
why." Yeah. So I just added other things that I hadn't completely wrote off in there. Like,
Yeah.
not a, I didn't speed anything up. I just said, well, actually, I also bought this and this and this, and
I just hadn't
I
wrote
didn't
it
put
all
it in
yet.
there.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even do our car tags anymore because it's not. There's no point.
Well, I still give it to our accountant, but
Well,
he,
I wasn't. I wasn't doing car tags because it didn't matter
hmm
because I done wrote so much stuff off.
Yeah.
So I added a few more things that we just didn't do that year, and they owed me like $300 more.
Yeah.
So they never audited me again. But I know a guy.
Thankfully.
That got audited. He already had undervalued things he brought into his business. He undervalued. So if it was worth 50, he said, "Well, I'll just say
25.
30." No, 30. These numbers, I'm making the numbers up.
I want to
You don't get to make them up. So he got to say 30,000 instead. And there's a lot of things, like I told y'all could bring stuff into the business if that's all they're used for. He didn't bring a lot of that stuff in. He got audited, and I said, "Hey, just no. Tell them it's actually." So they said,
All
"Well,
these
it's
other
worth
things.
20,000, not 30, but it's really worth 50." And I was like, "No, go get it. Just go get it. Go get it.
Because he was like, well, they want me to do this, this, and this.
Go get an estimate on what it's worth from somebody, and then send it to them. They're gonna owe you more money." And he didn't do it. He's like, "I just don't want to push it." The next 3 years in a row, he also got audited
Yeah.
every year, and they kept having to do it because they got money from him, and
Yep.
they need money.
Yep.
So they're like, "Hey, we got some money out of you, so we're gonna try it again."
Mm-hmm.
And they kept getting him, but they never bothered me again because I was like, "Actually, there's more." But not only did I do everything legal, there was more I didn't even do. So pay me a little more money, and
And
they just
leave
left
me
me
alone.
alone. And they've never audited me again.
Back off.
Please don't audit me next year.
That's what I was about to say, Tim. You're going to make my job so much
I mean,
harder.
it's legal, but let's not push it.
I don't want to. Well, it's not even that. It's just the headache and the time.
It is a
for all
headache. You
that
gotta
crap.
come up with all that
God,
stuff.
Yeah. I try to keep it pretty organized, but I mean, Tim makes my job difficult.
I just buy things from places, and you're like, "What's this?" 6 months later, I'm like, "I don't know."
Sometimes
You got
it's not
better.
It's not that way anymore.
You
really.
got better about not waiting so long. It'd be December. You'd be
Yeah.
like, "What's this $1,300 from January?" I'm like, "Shit,
Yeah.
I don't know."
Yeah. Well, now that it's pretty much a daily thing, it's. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
that's
owe me
not-
now.
That's not really an issue. Oh yeah. And I'll get frustrated too because I'm like, the hell is this?
Something we need. That's all you need to know.
But here's my only thing is where I feel like the only reason I get frustrated because I'm like, man, if you're gonna go ahead and buy it or whatever it is, then just go ahead and let me know. That way, I don't even gotta ask. You know, like just let me
But
know
it
what it
might-
is. That way, I can be looking for.
Or
And when we buy things, I'm like, all right, I want the receipt for that. I want the
it's a
tile for
better
this.
idea.
I
Right
want
here.
all these. I want all these things in my email.
Let me tell you how
in
it
10
usually
minutes.
works. I screenshot what I want, send it to you, and be like, "I need one of these," and then y'all order it. Then there's no problem.
Well, that's little things.
Big things too.
Not really.
All right, look. Let me check these notes here.
We're at 38 minutes. Holy guacamole.
Yeah.
I gotta pee. while he's looking at his notes, I'll just give y'all a
You
rough
know,
draft.
I
Really,
thought you said you're gonna go pee. I was like, no, you're not. We're almost done.
did I say that?
No.
Oh, did I say that? Oh, said I got it. Oh, well, that was just my thoughts coming out of my mouth before I knew they were words.
Yeah, we covered it. I just wrote a few things down. I just wanted to that helped us, like the credit cards, DBA accounts, adding your side hustle to your taxes. Don't just say I made $3,000. Say I also spent this much money.
Yeah.
People just don't do that.
And stay organized. Keep it in your category. Get categories.
Yeah, I mean, you got money hitting your bank. They know you made it. But it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's also okay to have write-offs because that's how it works.
And it's even little things like if you have stickers for your business. I mean, any of that's advertising.
Yeah, even if you
like that, T-shirts.
I had 20 hats made and I give them away.
Advertising, write that
Right.
crap off.
We wrap our razors and
yeah, we're advertising our business.
Anything that we put our logo on to advertise, that's a write-off. To the process of the wrap getting installed, having hats, stickers, shirts made, right? All that stuff writes off too. Even if you give it away, it's a loss. It's an advertisement loss.
Yep. There's so many things. Just start paying attention, digging, looking. If you don't really know, if you're like, well, I have this, but I don't know of a category, and you can always ask. I mean, ask us, and maybe we can tell you. Or if you have an accountant, you can ask. But usually they can tell you, well, you can put it in this.
Yeah. Because we forgot our disclaimer, but this was not legal advice.
Disclaimer.
This is avenues that you should look into with your legal people
For your legal taxes.
What was you going to tell them? What was you going to tell them?
Oh, listen.
Just tell them some kind of new shrub you need to
eat. Listen, just.
You know,
just
try these seeds out.
Yes.
They'll make you 3 inches taller.
I wish. I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying, all of these things are like with the cayenne pepper. It is very good for you, genuinely. Like if you are, it's really good for making your heart stronger. It rebuilds your artery walls. It's a natural blood thinner. I know you're laughing at me, but
so if y'all want to take like a shot of water, what is that, like an ounce?
Yeah, it's not. It's whatever. It's literally whatever you can
tolerate.
What's
a shot? What's a shot?
Oh yeah, like an ounce.
Ounce and a half, something like that. Get you a half or quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Mix it up. Video yourself shooting it. Tag Hannah.
Please do that.
She'll be so excited.
I will, but because it does that. It stimulates your blood flow, and anything that stimulates blood stimulates healing in your body.
And when you get done, just drink you some ginger lemon water.
Yep.
Heated.
So as soon as I drink that, I'll boil some water because I'm not for the microwave. I don't like the microwave. Tim hates it because I take the long avenue for any kind of food.
It's better. It's just
I genuinely hate the microwave.
You know, single type guys. You know, when that old single life comes out, you're like, I'm gonna throw this bitch in the microwave.
And just if there's little, I've just started making little changes at a time, or I've tried to, because it is a lot and it can be very overwhelming because you're like, man, well, I need this, and I gotta do this, and all the things. So little things at a time, like swapping the magnesium, all the things. But it honestly is probably one of, if I could encourage anyone to even use an herb, that would be it.
Well, I do talk a lot of shit and give her hell, but I did have bad psoriasis on my elbows.
Yes.
And she's like, put this magnesium on there. It's going to make it all better. And I'm like, no, this shit just burns. It burns. Until it quit burning because it went away. So that's legit. I'll give you that.
Up top. Just kidding. Yeah, so you can buy magnesium flakes. I just order them offline. And everything I get, I try to really order the organic because just the nutritional value even in everything is just different. But you can just do like 1-to-1 ratio. So it's like a cup of magnesium flakes into boiling water and then just dissolve it, let it cool off. I would suggest putting it in a glass bottle. I'm also not a fan of a lot of plastics. I'm trying to get away from that.
Girl, save this for your YouTube video.
Yeah. Anyway, but put it in a spray bottle and spray it on the elbows, and you can use it for deodorant. Also, so.
All right, so we're done. All the tax stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's time.
Time to end.
I'm talking about time to do taxes. I hope you got ours ready.
I already took it to Johnny. I've already dropped it off.
You on top of it.
That's right.
All right. Y'all got any questions? Let us know.
Yeah. We out.